All right. Good evening. Welcome to our community connection. My name is Cheryl Muller, and I am super pumped to introduce our speakers tonight. My favorite person, my favorite diamond, and her husband, who claims, okay, Phil claims that I might like him a little bit more than Megan, but
It's true.
it's a tie. So Megan and Phil Milakovic will be speaking tonight. Megan has been, gosh, with Plexus for what, seven and a half, 8 years?
It was just 8 years.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. And Megan always said that she wasn't cut out for the workforce, but I would beg to differ. She is a boss in network marketing. I feel like she really found her way. She's so good at building community. She is good at leadership. And I adore her. And I believe that Megan and Phil, I would call them a power couple. They are a diamond senior ruby household, but I think that they are both powerful in their own right. So, Megan, take it away.
Okay. So I I love everything about this business, you guys. I love the freedom. I love the opportunity. When I say I wasn't cut out for the workforce, I wasn't made for a 9 to 5. Okay. I am not one of those people who was made to sit behind a desk or to be on somebody else's timeline. I'm actually really terrible at being on time for things. So if I had to clock into a job every single day, I would lose my mind. If somebody were to tell me, no, we did not grant your vacation wishes. You can't go on that trip. I'd be like, peace out. I'm done. I can't do it. And so that's why I love this opportunity, because part of it is the trips and the travel. And hey, guys, no, I'm on my call. You need to go upstairs. My kids were supposed to be in bed before we did this, and then it started snowing. So everyone put on their snow gear and we're outside playing in the snow. So it's like the wild, wild west here tonight. You never know what might happen.
So we
Hopefully,
don't
the
even know
baby.
what they're doing. We just told them to go run. No.
Yeah. We're like, just stay out of the way and then don't burn the house down, you know? And so I love that Phil and I get to do this together. It's really fun. And you're probably wondering, if you guys are in the same house, why are you not on the same Zoom call? Because that's the way, if you've ever been on a Zoom call with us, that's the way that we do it. We're pretty much almost never in the same room doing Zoom calls because Phil is a pacer and I'm not. And so we are just always like off doing different things, but then we're connecting and we're on these calls. And so tonight, what we wanted to share with you guys is about what do you do when maybe you're brand new, right? And you're ready to jumpstart your business. Okay. Or maybe you fall into this other category. All of the principles are going to apply the same. Okay. Maybe you fall into this other category where you've had a slower season. Maybe you've had life happen, really hard things have happened, and so you have lost your steam and momentum in your business. Maybe you had some people who were like super gung ho about the business. And then you're like, they hit gold and got lost on Gold Island and we can't find them anymore. Maybe you had, someone who was a running partner with you who maybe they're not in a season where they're running anymore and you feel a little lonely. There's so many different avenues where you guys could fall into, right? We've been doing this. We just celebrated 8 years of being with Plexus. Okay. We've had a lot of life happen in those 8 years. And I can say that in that time, right? We have never like taken a step back or gone quiet until the last few months. Okay. We had some really hard things happen personally in our family. And I went dark on social media for over a month. I didn't post anything. I didn't share anything. And people who knew what was going on and who were close to me were highly concerned because they've never seen me in 8 years not post on social media. When you build a brand and when you build a business the way that we have on social media, there is this certain obligation to continue to show up even when things are hard, right? And I've pretty much done that, right? And this was the first time that I didn't. Okay. And I was very aware and very observant during this time of the emotions that I was feeling. And I tried to put myself in other people's shoes who I know have had really hard things happen in their life, right? Or who've had hard things happen in their business, or who are frustrated because their business isn't where they want to be, and who has maybe not shown up and done certain things that they know that they should be doing. And I really tried to feel every emotion or thought and take note of what must be running through their head right now. And I will tell you, I have learned to be a lot more empathetic for when people have taken those breaks, because before I didn't understand it. And I was like, just show up, people, like get it together. But you know what? Sometimes there are things that are going to hit you and you can't just show up, you know? And so here's what I learned though, you guys. I learned that the longer that you keep going without doing the things, the easier it is to just push it off one more day and push it off one more day. And then you start to get all these thoughts in your head that are like, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. There's 500 specials going on and I don't even know what they are. I don't know what calls to be on. I don't know what to start posting. And like literally, those were all the thoughts that were running through my head. And I thought, if I'm a diamond, okay, and I'm feeling this after not showing up for a little bit, what is a new person feeling? What is a gold feeling? What is a ruby feeling? What is an emerald feeling that has had a little bit of silence or a slowdown in their business? And so I will walk you through kind of my mindset and things that I started doing to get everything back on track. Okay. And so the first thing that I did is I was like, I need to start posting on social media. Okay. And I'm not saying you don't have to share all of your personal intimate details on social media if you don't want to. Okay. I live a very vulnerable life on Facebook and Instagram. So I felt like I needed to share that, right? In my first post, doing that. You don't owe anyone an explanation, right? In fact, if you've dipped out of the business for a little bit and then you're jumping back in, you actually don't need to say, actually, I learned this from Emily Gibson. She's like, you don't have to make an announcement that you've been gone for a few months and you're back to posting. Like, just start showing up, okay? Because half the people won't even notice, right? So, like, just start showing up and just start posting as if something happened. Just start getting back into the habits and the routines of the things that you know to do, right? So start posting again. Start recording those everyday things that you have not been recording or sharing, and just start sharing them. It's going to take a little bit to get back into the habit. If you have been out of it for a little while, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Celebrate every single time that you do something, okay? And then what I did is, instead of saying to myself, well, I don't know what to do, right? I don't know what to do. I don't even know where to start. I have no idea where to start. I feel like it's all gone to crap. And when I say that, I mean, like, in September, okay, just to put things in perspective for you, on Phil's leg, we were only 78 points away from hitting Emerald in September. Okay. So we were really, really, really close. Okay. We ended November at 922. Okay. We lost a heck of a lot of points because we went dark. Okay. And there is going to be rebuilding that needs to happen. When you have, I would say, I would consider it a baby business, right? We've been building his leg for a little over a year now. Yeah, almost a year and a half. Okay. That's a very new team, right? Those are very fresh leaders. And sometimes we reach these certain pivotal moments, right? And we take our foot off the gas, right? And then we're like, oh my goodness, I wasn't expecting that to happen. I was not expecting to lose that many points that we did during that season, but it's okay. Like, I'm not stressed about it. I'm not freaking out. But you know what it did? It helped show me where there were lots of gaps in my business. And if you're willing to see that and willing to use it as a tool instead of being like, well, why didn't everybody else just show up when I wasn't? You know what I mean? Like, you can't have that attitude and lead your team really well. You have to look and see, okay, where were the gaps before this even happened that led to this situation happening? Where are the gaps in duplication that is showing me why these points started dipping? What can I do differently in rebuilding so that we are building stronger, so that we are building a legacy business, that we are developing 5 leader of leaders, right? And it starts by taking action, right? So you take inventory of what's going on, you have to take action. A really good action step for you to take when you're like, what should I be doing? Do some sort of giveaway post on your social media. And I'm not saying you have to fork out any money. I'm saying take a corporate special. Okay. I learned this from someone who is a Jewel, who's a pretty high recruiter, I would say. And she had posted, you might have seen the Black Friday special that I posted. Like, last person to say, I don't know. Yeah, last person, you know how it goes. They say black, I say Friday, however that works. Like, I don't know. Just, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So do some sort of post like that, right? It could be Merry Christmas for this month. And then one person's going to get a free reset. Like, however you want to do it. It's very basic. Go look at my page. And you could do it even in word blocks if you didn't want to do a picture. But she does something like that every single month to give her leads on people she didn't even know were interested. I had people coming out of the woodwork who were commenting on this thing, who I'm like, I didn't even, what? I forgot we were friends on Facebook. Like, I never thought that they were even interested. You've got to be kidding me. And so it spurs on these conversations with people. So if you're like, I don't even know who to sign up. I don't even know who to message. I've got nothing. Do a post like that. And I wouldn't want to encourage you guys, do a post like that every month. That's something I'm going to commit to start doing, because it's going to lead to great conversations. And maybe they might not order that month. But they might order another month, and then you have them, you can put them on your list. So do a post like that. It's going to be really, really helpful. The other thing that I did is, and I learned this from Alita, is flipping the question around. Instead of saying, like, instead of telling yourself, I don't know what to do, I don't know, you tell yourself, what do I know to do? Right? That one simple flip from saying you're unsure about things to what do I know to do, it makes your brain start to come up with ideas and give you answers, right? When you say, I don't know what to do, your brain stops working. It's literally like, okay, done. We have 0 solutions and we're not coming up with any. And then your brain kicks in with a question when you say, what do I know to do? Okay. I knew I needed to post on Facebook. I needed to do an engaging post. I knew I needed to check on my customers who did not get very good customer care for the last 2 months. Okay. And sometimes you're like, well, can I even check in with them? I don't even know. Is it going to be weird if I send a message now? No, it's not weird. Say thank you for being a faithful customer. I really appreciate you supporting my business. Hey, you're due for a product call. Can we get on the phone this week? Is there anything weird about that? No, there's nothing weird about that, you guys. Just send the messages, start with gratitude, schedule the calls so that you can figure out what the heck's been going on with them and their products over the last little bit. And then you just keep moving on, right? So taking action steps on those things that you know are going to be helpful. Babe, do you have anything you want to chime in here?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think some other things you have to remember is a lot of the things you're telling yourselves in those moments, it's all stemming from fear. What are people going to think about me because I took a step away? What are they going to say about this? Is anyone going to start this again with me? Or I want to do this. And a lot of those questions are fear, either fear of what's going to happen or fear of what if it doesn't happen. Does that make sense? And so you have to get those fears out of the way. This is one thing when Megan said that, there's going to be real times when you're not going to be able to do this to the level that you need to. But this is what I wrote down in my little notepad. But you can always communicate.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be able to run to the level you need to run, but you can communicate to your upline that, hey, stuff is going on,
Mm-hmm.
and they can help out. Isolation in this business is the biggest enemy. The biggest benefit is the community that we have. And so just communicate. I guarantee, Caitlin's on the call, and so I'll pick on Caitlin. I can't tell you how many times I've been on a call with Caitlin, and she literally tells me her problem, babbles for about 5 minutes, and said, "Great, I just fixed it," and I didn't say a word. She literally just had to talk it out. Like, how many times are you talking out the challenges that you're going through? She'd be like, I need to do this, but if I do this, then I got to do this, then I got to do. Oh, I just figured it out, Phil. Thanks for your help. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. I just sat here and listened, but sometimes you need to communicate to get some of those processes through. Does that make sense?
And the other thing I'll say about isolation too is as we were going through this, we stayed close to the fires that we needed to. And what I mean by that is our business coach, Keith, he always talks about like staying close to the fire. And he's like, let me be that fire for you guys. Let me be that source of energy. Let me be that encouragement for you whenever you need it. So, like, while we may not have been on calls like this, we were still getting on our group coaching calls with Keith. We weren't very talkative. We weren't saying much, but we were listening because those certain things fueled us. There are certain people that we talked to very often during that time where we weren't really talking to anybody else, because those were the people who were the fire, who we knew we needed to talk to, because they kept our spirits up and we could be real and we could be honest with them. So just know, like, who are those people that maybe you're avoiding or that you do need to reach out to and talk to during those seasons. And then when you feel that urge that you're like, okay, I think I'm ready to like ramp up my energy, partner with somebody that you know is a strong leader. Okay? So at the end of November, Kate and I partnered up. We did Phil's Emerald leg and then we did her leg in a group rally chat for the last 10 days of the month. Um and we were able to use each other's energy so that it wasn't just all on me and it wasn't just all on her. And we were able to use our strengths in things. Because that's the beauty of this community, right? We are able to partner together. We're able to do stuff. So when you feel that urge, like, hey, I think I can start jumping into things, tell somebody and then take action and do something about it. Don't just think, hey, this might be a really good idea and then not do anything about it, right? And then talk yourself out of it. Have you ever done that? Have you ever had a really good idea in your business and then you're like, oh, nope. And then you just talk yourself out of it before you even tell someone? I have this rule where if I have an idea, I try to tell somebody about it, a good person, right? Now, somebody who's going to squash it down. Know the people who are going to believe in your dreams. I'll say something to those people so that then it forces me to take action, right? Because if they now know that I have this idea and then I don't do it, I feel like I'm letting myself down. I feel like I'm letting them down. And it's just a way to hold me accountable. Do you have anything else you want to chime in, babe, before
Yeah, I
we?
was just going to say this. What I have found over the last 8 years is that it is really easy to build this business when you're having a lot of fun. But the moment it starts to feel like work is when a lot of people start pulling away, right? But here's the reality. There's going to be work involved, right? You are going to have to do things you don't want to do. If anyone has to go to work tomorrow, do you want to go to work tomorrow? Or if your spouse has to go to work tomorrow, do you want your spouse to go to work? No. There's things we have to do. Megan always says, yeah, I make a doctor's salary from my phone. Well, guess what, guys? That's work. So there's going to be a lot of fun within that, But there's also going to be people that we don't want to deal with. Let's be honest. There's going to be problems that are going to come up that we're going to be like, you know what? That just drains me. There's going to be work involved. I think the challenge is surround yourself with the fun.
And
To
not the
make,
complainers.
what'd you say?
Said, and not the complainers.
No. So like surround yourself with the fun. What do you love to do? Make sure that you're doing that every day, but don't avoid the work just because it's work. I'm telling you, that's probably the biggest thing that stops a lot of people. So if you want to go after the momentum, if you want to go after, and I'm not talking about people, I'm more talking about the process, right? The follow-up, the things that are not the glamour. The glamours, I just signed up another person. I just signed up another person. I just signed up another person. I earned the cruise. That's all fun. But now I got to deal with this detox issue. And that's annoying because that's going to take more time and it's not as fun as just signing people up. Does that make sense? So surround yourself with the fun. Be a part of the fun. Celebrate people that are signing up, but don't avoid the things that are going to get you to where you need to be in your business.
Because the business that you want is on the other side of the things that you are avoiding. The conversations that you're not having, the work that you're avoiding, this business that you really want to build, it's on the other side of those things that you're not doing.
Well, and there's a question Megan and I will ask ourselves all the time. What are you avoiding today and why? So if I were to ask you that question, what would be the answer? And so you need to do is you need to find someone who you're going to hold yourself accountable with and say, all right, you know what, Nicole, every day I'm going to message you what I'm avoiding and why I'm avoiding it, just so I'm held accountable of that question so that I do it. Because that's the part that's not always the funnest because we're avoiding it for a reason. But I'm telling you, if you're willing to do those things, the fun is going to come. Because y'all, I'm telling you right now, like I'm having a lot of fun in my life. Like it's a lot of fun. I'm crazy busy, but I'm having a lot of fun. I'm very intentional with my kids, very intentional with Megan. Yes, there's work, but it's fun. So I want you, my challenge to you would be find someone. Who are you going to tell what you're avoiding and why you're avoiding it? And if you don't have anyone, then just message me. I don't care. I probably won't get back to you, just to be real, but at least you're messaging someone.
This is true. He puts people in chat, in me in charge of him getting back to people because he is terrible at that. But if you call him, he will answer. But I'm going to cut you off because we have to interview Raquel, and I keep messaging you, and you're not checking your messages.
It's because I'm on a call, honey. It's called professionalism. All right, okay. Go ahead.
I'm cutting him off.
So I'm muting. I'm sorry. Y'all, it was so good talking to you. Thank you.
Bill could talk all night and he has really amazing words of wisdom. We could literally listen to like him for another hour and it would be so good. But now you're going to get to hear from Raquel. Okay. So we're just going to do a few quick questions with her. Raquel, how long have you been with Plexus and how long were you senior gold before hitting Ruby?
Hey friends. Phil, you make it so hard to follow up after you, bro. So I've been with Plexus 3 years and 3 months exactly. And I was in the gold island. I love that. For 2 years. I was senior gold for a year.
Okay, awesome. So for those of you who don't know, Raquel just hit Ruby last month. So let's give it up for her. And a huge majority of her team is in Puerto Rico, which is amazing. She's been traveling back and forth there. She is like one of the founders in this community. It's really exciting to watch and be a part of, and what she's helping corporate to build as far as the Spanish community and all of that. It's amazing. So we're super, super proud of her. But she had said something to me when I messaged her about her hitting Ruby. And she said, it's amazing what happens when you break the ideas in your head. And so when we called her and we're like celebrating hitting Ruby, I was asking her all of these questions about like what shifted in your head? Like, what did you mean when you said amazing things happen when you break the ideas in your head? And so Raquel, can you elaborate for them a little bit more about what were just some of those shifts that happened for you? Because we've all known, like we've all known that you've been able to be Ruby, Senior Ruby, Emerald, Diamond, all the things, right? We've believed it from the beginning, but you had to believe it, right? And so I want you to walk us through what that actually looked like in your business.
So it's really interesting, right? Because we read all of the personal growth books, we get on the Zooms, we listen to Phil preach, and we want to pass the collection basket. We want to do all the things, but it's one thing to hear it. It's one thing to say those affirmations to ourselves on a daily, but it is a whole nother ballgame when it goes outside of your mouth, outside of your ears. Like it's literally going deep into your soul. Like you are literally feeling it, receiving it, and understanding it. And so for me, I had to start peeling back the layers. And I had to be willing to reach out to people and get really, really vulnerable, and they would help me peel back the layers. There were lies that I was telling myself. For example, I lied to myself that I could not develop leaders. That was legit a lie. Keep in mind, we had 10 rank ups last month. Like, talk about a serious lie. But that I was lying to myself for so long. And it was a result of just
Did he freeze for
things that
anybody else?
happened. And I believed, and a lie that I was telling myself, uh-oh, y'all can't hear me?
No, you're good now.
You
It
can't hear
like
me?
froze for a
Yes?
second.
No?
I think you're on like a lag.
Okay. Is that, I won't move? Am I on a lag? Hold on. If I turn the other way, I might be in the dark. Okay. Is that better?
Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
Am I still lagging?
No,
Okay.
you're good.
But those were lies that I was telling me. And when those mindsets, when I started pulling back the layers and I started understanding why I was telling myself those lies, I also had to redefine what was my why, because I was really trying to fit into this box, into that fit everybody else's, that looked like everybody else's. But let's be real, I'm not a mom. I don't have kids. I'm not married. So my why as to I want my husband to stay home. I want to be able to send my kids to private school. It's like, yeah, but does it fit my box? And so I have really, really had to figure out why. And I'm not talking about a super ugly cry. Why? And once I figured that out and I started going through all the lies that I was telling myself, that mindset started shifting. And then I started putting myself out there. I started doing the things that I was avoiding. I started putting myself into very intentional situations to meet people that were going to help me reach my goal, and ask friends who they could introduce me to, right? If you guys know, my passion has always been to develop a very diverse team. That is my heart. That is my passion. I'm Puerto Rican. It's my island. It's my people's, right? I wanted to develop there. I literally tell everyone I'm going to be the first Puerto Rican diamond. That is my claim. I stuck my flag in the ground, but I wasn't developing in that area. And so I literally started joining Facebook groups. A lot of you guys are in Facebook groups for moms, for little children, for homeschooling, for all these things. Well, I joined Puerto Rican groups. It's my people. and you talk about food and you talk about culture, and you start meeting different people. And that's through those avenues, I got to meet three amazing women who are now my first line in Puerto Rico. One of them is on tonight, who is now a senior gold and is like blowing up. Like literally, my hair looks crazy because I leave tomorrow to Puerto Rico again. I can keep going, Megan. Keep asking me questions, bro.
Okay. So, we'll wrap it up with one more question for you. And what would you say, was like the biggest turning point for you that really caused you to start believing in yourself?
I had to let go of the fear of being the leader that I know I could be. And even saying that makes me want to cry because to be that kind of leader requires you to be so vulnerable and so real, not only with yourself, but with those around you and those that are holding your feet to the fire. It's a different level, and surrendering that fear is so scary.
But it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding. And so we're so proud of you. We're cheering you on. We can't wait to see you go senior ruby, emerald, all the way to diamond. We're going to have the biggest party for you ever in Puerto Rico because we love reasons to travel. So my mom and I will for sure be there. Okay. So we love you. We're so, so proud of you. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing those things with us because I know that it really touched people on here. And thank you so much for everyone who joined us tonight for our Community Connect, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys.